As a lot of you probably know, ever since I created this channel, I have been addicted, obsessed. I cannot get enough of fantasy books. Well, today is a different story. Hi everyone, my name is Holly, and in today's video, I'm showing you all of the books I acquired in February, and oh boy, do we have a strange one. This is one of the most shocking, weirdest book hauls I have ever done in my entire life. This book haul mostly consists of YA fantasy and a couple contemporary. That's right. I just said the C word, and if I had soap beside me right now, I would immediately go wash out my mouth. If I get a book in the mail from a publisher unsolicited, and if it's not from me, I immediately go donate it. These books, for some reason, there's at least one thing about them that has me very intrigued. So first off, a huge thank you to Source Books for sending me a copy of The Dark Tide by Alicia Jasinska. I have had such a hard time saying that last name. I still can't get it right. Jasinska. This is coming out in June. This is supposed to be The Wicked Deep meets A Curse So Dark and Lonely, which I've only read The Wicked Deep, so that's the only thing I'm going for. It's a dark fairy tale retelling about two girls who must decide if they should save themselves, each other, or the sinking city that they live in. That's right, we have a city which is sinking beneath treacherous waves, and the only thing that is slowing the process is this ritual where a local boy has to be sacrificed to the sea. This totally gives me Given to the Sea by Mindy McGinnis vibes, and that book was awful. So if this book is anything like that, we're gonna have problems. This is basically a story about bisexual love where the girl tries to save her crush from the witch, but then inevitably falls for the witch instead. And if that is not an auto buy from you, then I don't even know what an insta-buy is. And then I have Trial by Treason by Dave Duncan. Yes, I decided to purchase the sequel to Ironfoot, which I just hauled recently, but I can't help it. I just have this gut feeling that I'm going to want the sequel on hand. I'll actually be reading the first book this month. I'm not going to talk about this one too much because I've talked about it a lot, but it's a historical medieval fantasy that sounds so fun. It's kind of like a whodunit mystery, like someone gets murdered and the characters have to figure out who murdered the person. It sounds rad, it sounds right up my alley. So I needed the sequel, okay? I don't really need to give you an excuse. 16th Watch by Mike Cole, yet another book that's on my March TBR. If you watched my March TBR video, then you saw me talk about this. This is Mike Cole's new book that actually comes out in March, and I can't believe I have a copy in my hands. I kind of fangirled a little bit when I opened up the package and saw this. Mike Cole is one of my all-time favorite authors. I adored The Armored Saint by him, and I am ready to delve into another series. This is a military sci-fi. I totally expect it to be epic, following a badass female character, because there's something about Mike Cole, how he writes about women. It's awesome. I highly recommend. Speaking of The Armored Saint, The Killing Light by Mike Cole. I finally bought a finished copy, so this means I can replace my flimsy paperback ARC with this beautiful hardcover edition, which I am ashamed to say I just read this conclusion like a week ago, and I feel kind of like a horrible fan of Mike Cole for waiting this long, but I'll be honest, I was not ready for this series to end, but I read it. Tears fled down my face. I'm not reviewing this yet, so you'll have to wait for my next reading wrap up, but just know that this series is amazing. If you're looking for a kind of military fantasy with a main character who is a lesbian, highly recommend. Give this series a chance. And then, surprisingly, I got a copy of Cress by Marissa Meyer. Penguin emailed me and asked me which Lunar Chronicles princess was my favorite. I answered them, and then this showed up. Thanks, Penguin. I'm sure most of you know what the series is, whether you've read it or you haven't read it. It's pretty much everywhere. It literally follows you in your wake. But they decided to republish the entire series with these beautiful new covers, and obviously I have Cress here. The illustration on this cover is absolutely stunning, and then when you open up the cover, you have the inside flap, which has even more artwork, and I quite possibly want to tattoo it on my face. If you are a big fan of the Lunar Chronicles series, then I highly recommend picking these up. They would look great within your collection. The Queen's Assassin by Melissa de la Cruz. This was another book that was sent to me from Penguin. This is the first installment to a new YA fantasy that's apparently for fans of Sarah J. Maas and the Red Queen series, which I highly doubt this book is anything like that because they just tend to use those words to sell the book. I've actually never read a book by this author. I know she is known for the Blue Blood series, which I've never read, but I am so very intrigued by this author's writing. I just want to see if her writing style is for me, if I like it. And honestly, the story in this does sound very interesting. As the title entails, we are following the Queen's assassin, who is very well known and very deadly, and he is tasked to murder this traitorous prince to protect this farm girl, and then he's thrown into prison. And then we also get the perspective of that farm girl, and I'm guessing their worlds collide, a romance possibly blooms, gag, but then they have to protect the kingdom for some reason. You know, all of those YA tropes, they all end up being the same. I know it doesn't sound like I'm excited for this book, but I am. I'm very curious, and I want to know what this author's writing is like. So on the TBR it goes. And the final book that was sent to me from Penguin, man, they just decided to gift out all of the books this month. Displacement by Kiku Hughes. This one sounds very interesting. It's a middle grade graphic novel. It's a memoir based. It's a magical realist kind of story following a girl who is thrown back in time to witness her grandmother's experience of World War II, specifically Japanese internment camps. Apparently her grandmother died before she was born, and her grandmother rarely spoke of these experiences, and I think that sounds very interesting and very educational. In fact, I might just read this in March. It would be very quick, and also I have a challenge going on in March, so I feel like this would be a nice addition to my TBR. The artwork is very pretty and very illustrative. Here's another page. Oof, there's a long wait for this. It doesn't come out until August. Wow, I didn't realize that. So, let's move on to the contemporary, which I'm totally going to suck at explaining. Like, I feel like I'm just gonna trip over my words. But the first one we have is The Friend Scheme by Kale. You expect me to say this last name. Dietrich? I tried. This is a part thriller, part contemporary, where the son of a mobster and the son of a police commissioner fall in love. And I'm mostly intrigued by the LGBTQ plus elements and just like the son of a mobster. Like the word mobster is what held me from not unhauling this book. This does come out in May, and I adore this cover so much. Just something about illustrative covers, and I've noticed like YA contemporary romance has been doing a lot of covers like this. It is making me very bi-curious to my fantasy. I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you. Anyways, I don't know anything much more than that. That's it. That's it. And the next book, it's even worse, trust me, and you're all going to be like, you're all gonna click away at this point. All Our Worst Ideas by Vicky Skinner. Oof, this is a thing. Why am I hauling this? I'll tell you. This book, the only reason I have it is because it takes place in a record store. That's it. There is just something about that that lights up my inner soul, but I know it's going to be nothing like I imagine. It's going to make me eye roll, it's going to make me cringe. I mean, just look at this cover. But a freaking record store, like, I might be able to get behind that. A record store. The rest of the synopsis sounds like poo, but record store. That's the reason why I have this. This comes out in August, by the way. So I have plenty of time to decide if I want to read it or if I want to unhaul it. Oh, whoops, I forgot to put that up there. That'll work. Okay, so next up I have the February, Owlcrate, which I'm a rep for. You can use my code Holly on your very first subscription. I highly recommend. I adore Owlcrate. They have amazing service and they have an amazing box. So let's go ahead and open this. So you can see inside, it looks very nice. The theme for this box was a power within. I mean, already the artwork is pretty, but unfortunately there are spoilers on the back, so we gotta flip that out of here. First up, we have this, which is very matte and purple and so shiny. I'm guessing it's a deck of cards. Oh my god. Look at this. You have to experience this with me. Look at that. Holy smokes. And you open it. Look at that. These cards are inspired by Throne of Glass, by the way. Here is the back. I'm showing you very badly what these look like. Oh, we have artwork, and of course the very freaking first one I find is Rowan, who I hate, so let's immediately move on from that. Ooh, look at that. So pretty. Ooh, is that Kale, my man? If this is any indication to what the rest of the box is, get out of here. Every other box. Up next, we have a suspicious envelope. Ruler bookmarks. This is going to be very hard to show you up close, but I'm going to anyways. So as you can tell, they're bookmarks. There's 2 of them here, so I'm guessing you give one to your BFF. Very fancy. And then we have a chapter sampler of Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. Oh, I bet all of you squealed if you got this box when you saw this. Unfortunately for me, I am not a part of the Shadowhunter army anymore. I broke up with a Cassandra Clare last year, bringing up horrible memories, but that's cool. Up next, we have a keychain that's really pretty, and I'll have to show you up close again. So that's what it looks like. It has a B on it, and it says Break Bills Alumni. Don't know what that is. This keychain is from the Magicians. Up next, we have the monthly pin, which I'm always very excited to see, and this one is very pretty. So it's just a crown with like seaweed wrapped around it. It is so cool, and also it's like very big. What? This is a freaking lunchbox? No way. This is so cool and so loud. I'm sorry. But also it's like this green minty pastel color. That is so cool. Oh, hold on, I gotta open this. Okay, so we have a spoon. And then we have chopsticks. Up next we have this. I don't know what it is. It kind of looks like a cloth. It's like it's a very large one. It's like a screen cleaning cloth, like this. Like that. Here is what it looks like on that side, and it's double-sided. So we have this side. I actually clean my glasses with these all the time, and now I have a new one. Hell yeah. Perfect. This is inspired by Wicked Saints. That's really cool. That's actually a book that I'm really interested in reading. I have an ebook of it, so hopefully I can get to it soon. I'm so happy that they included that. That's so useful. And then finally we have the book, and it is All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. I actually have an arc of this. I'll probably be passing that along to a friend, but now I have this beautiful exclusive Owlcrate edition, and it is so pretty. And here is underneath. It's purple. That's really cool. We don't see very many purple hardbacks that often, and it has like this silver crown on it, and the spine is really cool too. Comes with an author letter, and it also comes signed. Oh my god, that's so pretty. Look at that. Oh, it's such a perfect signature. It almost looks like it says Aqua. Do you see that? That's clever. That's very clever. I don't know if that's done on purpose, but I like it. Now that is everything in the box. Next month's theme sounds amazing. It's going to be Music of the Night, and every box is going to include a candle from Flick the Wick. But that's what the theme looks like, and I'm super pumped for it. Alrighty, so that is the end of this video. Tell me down below if you are as shocked as I am, me hauling all of these YA fantasy and contemporaries. I feel like I need to go take like a shower because this is very unlike me. In all seriousness, I am interested in these, which is why I'm hauling them. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. I upload videos every single week. Follow me on Instagram at Holly Hearts Books and on Twitter at Holly Niece. And until we meet again, happy reading.